Okay. Are we good? Yeah? Okay. Hello, friends, and welcome to this awesome Friday where we're going to hang out and talk about cupcakes, and we're going to make some super fun cupcake explosions, for lack of a better word. I'm super happy to be here. We are... you could, I don't know if you can see that great on this table, but there is a lot of color. There's a lot of sprinkles. There are a lot of fun things that we are going to decorate with. And thank you for taking the time to join me. So my name is Megan, and I am, well, people call me the Sweet Tooth Fairy. I don't like wake up in the morning and like put a pair of wings on and walk around my house. But I started a company called the Sweet Tooth Fairy several years ago. We have a chain of retail bakeries out here in Utah. And I have partnered with American Crafts, which is where I am today, to bring all of my fellow home bakers and just enthusiasts some really fun food crafting items. So throughout the class today, I will be referencing some of the stuff that is available at your local Michael's. And it has been a dream, quite literally, of mine to develop this stuff. And so it just makes me feel all the feels knowing that my fellow friends out there can have access to some really cool and unique items for your decorating experiences. So let's just get started. So one of the things that, let's just talk cupcakes for just 2 seconds. So some of you may, excuse me, some of you may not feel like, overly confident about baking, which is totally fine. Maybe some of you feel really confident baking, but like maybe not super confident decorating or, whatever it is. So regardless of where you fall, I will say that I feel like cupcakes are one of those things that are pretty forgiving in terms of your your baking experience or growth or whatever you want to call that. So what I have done here, I have a slew of different recipes. These are actually from scratch. So people often ask me about like, oh, do you ever use a box mix, or do you only do recipes by scratch? And I don't have super strong feelings either way. I feel like there's totally pros and cons to both. So I don't want you to like beat yourself up if you're like, oh, I don't have a good recipe and I only use a box mix. That's totally fine. They're created, for a reason, because they're good, they're quick, they're convenient, they're consistent, and that's wonderful. And you can do a lot of things to box mixes to just add some extra moisture, some extra flavor, just to change the color, the way that it looks. And so just feel free to get creative. There's a ton of recipes and just fun things online that you can find. This is just a from scratch recipe of mine. It's vanilla. But what I wanted to point out was these super cute cupcake liners. So can you notice how you can see still the cute detail of the liner? That was totally intentional. They are grease resistant. And so what that means is when you make your cupcakes and you make your batter, when you scoop your batter into these cups, here you can see them, these are unfilled, clearly. It's gonna maintain that beautiful design because it has this like thick wax coating. That means that the batter isn't gonna seep through and disguise your beautiful cupcake design. So that is one thing I feel very strongly about when it comes to cute cupcake liners is, making sure that you can actually see the cuteness of them. So we have so many fun designs that we have out this spring for you guys. Some of the ones that I chose today are like, look how cute are these fun little strawberries. We have like this cute fruit theme. going, some lemons, some pineapples, but we have mermaid stuff, we have flowers. There's lots of fun options. So anyway, I just wanted to call that out before we kind of get going and we get decorating, just because oftentimes people are like, where did you get those? Or whenever I buy printed liners, they never look like that. It's just because they're different. So go to Michael's and pick them up and give them a try. So, okay. So that's just a little side note. But what I wanted to talk to or to show you today is just that with just a few simple, maybe out of the box ingredients or decorations, that you can really make some like super fun, over the top cupcakes for fun, or for a gift, for a party, or for whatever it is. So what I'm going to first start off with is just show you like super simple frosting technique, and then again, I don't know if you can see all the things on here, but we're just going to essentially kind of start piling some stuff on there, and yeah, it'll just be super fun. So I should say too that we do have some frosting available at Michael's as well. So I'm actually gonna load this. We're gonna start off with just some white, and let's see. These are just disposable pastry bags, and this frosting is like super fluffy. You can, obviously you can get some food coloring and color it, whatever color your heart desires. All I'm doing here is just, I don't have a spatula readily available, so I'm using just this little plastic spoon. Excuse me. And I'm just kind of cupping it and filling the bag with it. See, that should be good. I'm gonna save some of it because I do wanna use some for something else. Okay, so I just have my disposable pastry bag full of white frosting. And I do have some different tips here. Sorry guys, I have a tickle in my throat. And Michael's has a ton of different tips that you can find. I have some big ones, like super big ones. And then I have some like teeny tiny ones that will do some more of like the detailing work with. But I'm going to show you this big one. It's just the biggest open star tip that I could find. And what I do is I just, this is kind of a little secret I'm going to let you in on. So instead of using a coupler, which is like a little plastic, that's like two pieces that you put you use with your pastry bag so that you can kind of switch tips and things back and forth. I actually just use two of these pastry bags. And so what I do is I take an empty one, I plop my tip down into it, and then I just kind of squeeze it so that it's nice and tight towards the end. And then I take some scissors and I just pinch, oops, did that with my wrong hand. So here it's all nice and tight. I just pinch it back just a little bit. And this is so that I don't cut too big of a hole for my tip and then have it just totally fall out. So you can see now I have a bag that has this tip in it. And you'll see now what I do is I'll take some of the frosting. In this case, this is the white frosting. And then I cut this open and I put it in. So now let's pretend I wanted to use this tip with a different color frosting. Then I just have a different bag full of a different color frosting, and I can use them interchangeably. And you can kind of see here, I'll pull these a little bit more into view because that's fun and colorful and cheerful and happy, that we have lots of different colors to choose from. So anyway, I am just going to start with the white though, because it's, you know, it's a good place to start. So what I'm going to do is just show you a simple, ooh, there we go. I'm trying to get our camera angle right. I'm just going to make a complete circle. Then I'm going to make another complete circle and just kind of finish it off on the top. And the whole time I'm just applying like equal amounts of slight pressure. And one of the things I think I'm going to do it slow. So I'm just squeezing, 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 still squeezing. I've completed my circle. Now I'm coming back on the top and finishing it off. Here, I'll do that again. So just starting at the top, essentially tracing around the cupcake, making my complete circle, and then kind of starting another little one and then finishing it off so it covers the cupcake entirely. Now, if I wanted to do not that open star tip and just kind of give it a little bit of a cleaner, oops, I'll show you. Here, I'll show you the same thing I did in case you missed it previous. This is one of the big open tips. I just plop it in. I make sure it's nice and tight down there. Then I just pinch it back just like the width of my thumb and my index finger. And then I cut it. And now it's down in there tight. And I should explain the reason why I do that is because if you cut your bag, let's say you cut your bag like all the way up here towards the back side of the tip, and you're squeezing and applying all this pressure on the bag, it's likely that it would burst because I'm no physicist, but the pressure that is building up on the bag and the like small amount of tip and bag that is right here, like it's like not strong enough to support all the pressure, and then it just kind of explodes. So I'm sure some of you have had that happen to you. And hopefully that makes sense if you know what I'm talking about. But okay, I'm just going to show you now. So see, here's a different tip. I'm just going to use the same color though. And now I can just take out this white bag of frosting and plop it in. And so I'm going to do the same motion. I'm just going to start at the top. I'm going to do a full circle. Oops. I'll do a full circle. Once my circle is complete, I'll do another tinier circle, and that should be about enough to cover the cupcake. So there's my one circle, there's my two circle. So you can see how different they look with the same technique, right? The same simple, just little circle upon circle, but the tip makes it look so different, right? So let's set those ones aside and let's do a couple more. We'll finish these guys off. This one, I'm going to show you just squeezing actually. What it's going to do, it's going to kind of build like this mound of frosting, and it's just going to keep growing and growing and growing and growing. And it will kind of have this cool kind of like dome effect happening. So I'll show you. So I place my tip about 1/4 inch away from the top of the cupcake. And the reason that is just so that I'm not applying like copious amounts of frosting. So I like to have the frosting make contact with the cupcake at about 1/4 inch. If that makes sense. So can you see? Literally all I did was just squeeze. So about 1/4 inch away, squeezing, 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 and then I stop. So again, there's lots of different things you can do with all the different fun tips you can find. I'm running a little low, but I'll show you one other thing. This is just with the big tip, right? So you can just squeeze and pull away. Just do like these tiny little dollops all the way around. April, do you mind going and grabbing, please, that out of the fridge? And I'm just turning the cupcake as I go. Thank you. And finishing it off. So again, it's kind of just all about applying that equal amount of pressure with your tip, kind of getting to know the consistency of your frosting, and then just playing around with it a little bit. I am gonna grab, and then do you mind also grabbing those 2 boxes? There are a couple more, or there's another technique I was gonna show you. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Thank you so much.
Megan,
yes.
One question. Sasha would like to know exactly what the number for the tip is that you just used.
The exact number for the tip that I just used is 809. Hope that's helpful. Yes, you're welcome. Okay, I'm grabbing a couple more of these just to show you. So you'll see one of the fun assignments that I had a few months ago was just to make like just fun over the top cupcakes for this exact class. So it was so fun just to use all these fun things, right? And I had this idea of like, oh, it'd be so fun to make one look kind of like a hot fudge sundae. And so what I did was I took some, this is called a disher scoop, right? So you can get these anywhere. This one is, it's about a 1 ounce scoop. But what you can do is take some frosting, and I've actually just had this chilling in the fridge for probably 7-10 minutes, if that. And what you can do is just take your little scoop. You probably have some of these for your cookie dough or for your even for your batters, and you just scoop it out. Here, let's see where. And you can place it right on the top of your cupcake. So it makes it look like this fun little scoop of ice cream, right? Sometimes what I will do is I will do like an initial circle of frosting. I don't know if that makes sense, like around the rim, excuse me. Let me just put a little bit more frosting in here, and then I'll show you what that looks like. Just the only reason I would do that is so that the frosting kind of sticks to each other. So I just loaded a little bit more into the bag. So remember how we did this guy where it was just like a little circle? So you just take your frosting and just do one complete circle around the outside like that. Then you can come back with your, there you go, with your scoop, and just like ice cream, you just scoop it and pull it off the top like that. So we'll come back and we're gonna dress these up. But those are just a few fun, easy ways that you can decorate or use the different techniques for frosting. So I'm gonna put these on a plate. We'll put them in the fridge to set up. This step is not necessary, but just because I'm here under these lights, I just want the frosting to set up for a minute. Normally they would be totally fine just to be out, just out on your counter for a few minutes, just to let them kind of get a little bit of that crust that sets up with buttercream. But again, because we have these hot lights right here, I'm gonna ask April to pretty please help me out and put them in the fridge. Thank you. And then we're gonna move on to some of the edible embellishments that you can make with some of the meltables that hopefully you guys have had a chance to try, or you've been able to join me for another one of the classes that I've done with the meltables, because they're so fun, they're so versatile, they're so easy to use, they're delicious, and you can do so much with them. So thank you for doing that. Okay, so yes.
Sorry, we have a question from Gabriela. So she wants to know, do you put your buttercream in the refrigerator until you need to use it, or how do you store it, or where do you store it before decorating?
So I get it to room temperature before I decorate. So there's so much sugar in it that you don't have to worry about like any food safety issues, because sugar is a natural preservative. So you could just make it. I mean, it can stay out on your counter for sure for a day or two, like no problem. So if you make some ahead of time, which often that's what I'll do, I'll make a batch. I'll even throw it in the freezer just so I know I have it. And then if I know, okay, I have this coming up or a class or whatever it is, I'll take it out a couple hours before and just let it thaw and come to room temperature. So you should have no problem doing that. Does that help? Yeah, okay, awesome. Okay, so my little parchment paper here is kind of wrinkly and it keeps coming up, and I'm like, stay down, friend. Okay, so meltables. This is what I was going to show you. So I have brought, we won't use all of them, but I brought a handful of different sized mini cookie cutters. So I have a flower, I have like this little star, I have a heart, I have this cute, just kind of little rectangle that has a scalloped edge. And I'm going to show you a couple things that you can do with the meltables to make toppers, like cupcake toppers. So you can use any cookie cutter you have. If you're comfortable, you can actually just freehand any shape. And what I brought here were just these little like sucker sticks, because we're gonna melt the product, shape them, and then we'll stick the stick onto the back of it so that it just kind of acts like glue, and then we'll be able to use it in the cupcake. So I'm gonna actually I'm gonna throw all of these bad boys in the microwave, which I now know how to use. Thank you, Jordan. And with the meltables, you start them off. I start them off microwaving them at 30 seconds. And what you're going to want to do is stew them at 30 seconds, get your spatula, give them a nice stirring. And then they're for sure going to need to go back in, especially since I have multiple ones in there. But I just like to err on the side of not like over melting them, because then they seize up and then you either can't use them, or you have to kind of do some magic with some vegetable oil to get them back to the consistency that you want. So if you kind of err on the side of microwaving them in lower time quantities to make sure that they are melting at the rate that you want, I would recommend doing that, just so you make sure that you can use the product the way it was intended to be used. So, okay, so this was just 30 seconds, and it's actually not too far from being all the way ready. I'm gonna plop them back in there for another 30. You can see a lot of it is actually melting, but some of it is still kind of clumpy. So we'll put it back in. And if there's any questions in the meantime, I'm happy to answer them. If not, that is totally fine.
No questions right now. Everyone's just loving this.
Oh, thanks. So fun. All right. take these out. So I chose this pink and yellow and white. There are a slew of different colors that are available for you at Michael's. And I just kind of thought these colors were good complementary colors to kind of what I had envisioned for decorating today. One thing that people often ask is if you can like color the meltables or if you can combine the meltables. And the answer to both of those questions is yes. However, again, we do have a bunch of different colors. There are different flavors, but if you use an oil-based food coloring, you can definitely color them. And same with flavoring. You're gonna wanna make sure it's oil-based. Otherwise, the water, if you use like a gel base, the water kind of acts funky with the meltables, and it can cause them to kind of seize up or get a consistency that you for sure don't want to use. So, okay, so now we have our colors melted, and I'm going to pick this sprinkle mix. It's called Delight, and honest to Pete, it is my most favorite, I think, of all time, which for me to say that it's meaningful because I'm not a snob about things, but when it comes to sprinkles, I kind of am. And it's so fun to be able to just to have all these fun colors and have them in different shapes and sizes. So I hope you guys love it as much as I do. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take this the melted product, and I'm gonna plop some down on, so I have parchment paper. I don't know if you can see that, but I have this parchment paper, and I'm gonna put some down, just kind of spread it a little bit, kind of just plop it wherever. I'm gonna take some of all of them and just kind of there's no rhyme or reason to this because we're gonna kind of swirl them all together. Okay, so even though I don't have anything underneath this, like a cookie sheet or a plate or whatever, I'm still gonna kind of try to like pick it up and like bang it a little bit against the table so that it all evens out and becomes flat as best as it can. So one thing that you can do is take a toothpick, if I can find it, and here we'll use the back side of this cute little pom-pom. Or you can take a pom-pom and all I'm gonna do is drag, here let me do it this way so you can see better. Drag this pretend toothpick kind of back and forth through the meltables, okay? So I'm gonna go like this way, that way, back and forth. See how it's kind of starting to marble a little bit? Then once I get to the end right here, I'm gonna do it this way. Just gonna pull it up, pull down, up, down, up, down. Okay, so it gives it this really cool marbled effect. And honestly, you could just like keep going. However, like your marbling looks the way that you like it, like that's awesome. There's no right or wrong way. So then what we do with our little cutouts is we can take, let's say for example, we can take a heart and we can leave it just right there, like leave it on there. We can take a star, we'll leave it on there. Here we have a little flower. Let's use this big rectangle. And we have another, let's see, I don't know if that'll fit. We'll just leave that off for now. And then you can just take your sprinkles, sprinkle some on. And you'll want to make sure that you add the sprinkles while the meltables are still melted so that they stick to the meltables. Now, since I have this special parchment paper that keeps folding, I'm actually just going to cut this so we can put it on a plate and go let it set up in the fridge. And then in a couple minutes, we will let it loose and I will show you how cool it is. Oh, I'm going to steal this plate, or yeah, I'm going to steal this plate. That's all right. So this is a big fancy plate. You don't need a big fancy plate. But since it's what we have, we'll go put it just like this into the fridge and we'll bring it back out in a few minutes. Thank you so much. Okay, next. The other way that you can do that is you can actually just use a cookie cutter. So let's just like shift away from cupcakes for 2 seconds. Let's pretend you just wanted to make like cute little table settings or little gifts for, you know, your kids' preschool or what, you know, whatever it is. And you have a bunch of different cookie cutters. And this one's like substantially bigger than the one that, like the little hearts and stuff that I had used. You can just take the meltables that are already melted. So let's say you had like bigger ones, right? And then you can just fill inside of it. Oops. Just like that. And this is actually kind of fun, especially if you had like, let's say you put like some type of candy in there, like dehydrated marshmallows, or you could put, okay, so here's some little popcorn, like candied popcorn. I can break the candied popcorn on the top. It's like a little mini bark almost, right? And then just kind of let it set up inside of there. And then once it's set up, it'll all like, I'll show this to you, but you essentially just kind of give the cookie cutter like a gentle little squeeze away from the meltables. And then it just like plops out and you have yourself this like delicious, yummy little treat of your making. That's so simple to do. So we'll just put this guy, even though we'll just set him right here. He might take a minute to set up because he's thicker, but it's okay. Okay, next thing. Thank you, dear. Next thing is, okay, so we have our cupcake. We decorated it a few different ways. We have some embellishments that are edible that we've made that are now in the fridge. Now here, this is where I feel like it gets super fun. So the thing that I love about the meltables is like, you can kind of use anything and dip them into them, and they are delicious and darling and so fun. So I ended up bringing some fresh strawberries and some maraschino cherries, and I'm just going to take them and dip them into the meltables. So simple. Like I'm literally just took it by the stem, kind of give it a little bit of a tap, and then you can just put it on your plate. Now you can also, let's see if you can see this in the frame. I'm going to put some of those sprinkles out on this parchment paper, because if I wanted to like roll my meltables, or excuse me, roll my cherry in them to give them like a nice coating, you can do that as well. So I'm just dipping them in. A cherry and pink meltables is so cute. Okay, so see how I have some right here? You can kind of just do that business. And then they get some sprinkles on. Obviously, you can also just drop some on the top as well. Okay, we've got our strawberry. Oops, that one's a little sad. We'll use this one. So I just dip it straight into the meltables. Just take a spatula or a spoon. You'll want to make sure that any fruit that you use is obviously nice and clean and washed. So you have a cute little strawberry. We can also take, here's a parchment paper. I'm just going to scoop some of these meltables into here. And I'm just going to cut the tip of this bag that has some of the pink meltables in it and do like a little drizzle. So I'm just going back and forth. That's all. Literally just little ziggy zaggies. Here's strawberry and so it might seem like I'm off in the weeds, friends, but actually we're going to pile all of this stuff on top of a cupcake and it's going to be glorious. So fun. I'm going to do one more cherry because I can. So cute. Oops. Okay. April's a champ. She's running laps to the fridge. I'm so grateful. Okay, let's put that bad boy in the fridge too, if that's okay. Thank you. And then do you mind bringing back the cupcakes? Okay, thanks. Okay, you still with me here? So like I said, there were so many fun inedible embellishments that we just came out with. This fun spring line. Like we have these cute little pinwheels, rainbows. There's these little pom-poms. We've got like these little flowers. There's so many, it's like overwhelming in the best way possible. So we're definitely going to use these when we start now to assemble our cupcake explosion cupcakes. But what I wanted to make sure that I let you know is that a lot of the stuff that I brought, okay, here's just some candied, or not even candied popcorn, it's just like white chocolate popcorn. It's just straight up from the grocery store. Here are some cute different size bubble gums, dollar store. These are signature cake bites that are from my bakeries, which I brought just because they're really cute and decorative. These are chocolate covered sandwich cookies that we made. And here's just some candy, just cute little unique pieces of candy that I have curated along my journey here. And then again, yeah, you saw the fresh fruit. So these are just all kind of like, you know, things that maybe traditionally you wouldn't be like, oh, I'm going to stick some popcorn on top of my cupcake. But once you kind of start adding a bunch of different elements, and you can just make the coolest, most fun things. So we have our plate of cupcakes, and I'm going to start, I'm kind of clearing space so you guys can see it a little better. Okay. We've got our lineup, and we're just going to go at it. Okay. Oh, these. Let me show you these real quick. It's probably pretty self-explanatory, but all I did here was take some of the white frosting and use all the different food colorings to get this really fun little rainbow effect. And you'll see kind of when we are finishing off some of the cupcakes, like I'll use these to just do some of the tiniest, littlest details. And I think it makes like such a difference just having some of those little details. So if you don't have an hour on a Friday to dedicate to decorating cupcakes in, you know, over the top, again, these are so fun. Like, look how cute just to put in my frozen cupcake. Cute little rainbow guy. And we have all these different pom-pom. Again, there's just so many. So don't feel like you have to, you know, like you have to go above and beyond with all this stuff. So I'm going to take this little guy and let's see what, do you mind? Yes, I'll say, is that camera angle better so they can see? I'm just going to start with some of the stuff that's not in the fridge. I'm just going to start adding some layers and some things to it. So I just added like a piece of popcorn and a gumball. My husband teases me sometimes when I'm like doing cakes and things. He's like, you should just stop while you're ahead, because I'll sit there and be like, where do I need to place this tiny little sprinkle so that it's perfect and beautiful? And then I just keep going and going and going, and he teases me about it. But okay, here's this chocolate covered Oreo that I just broke into smithereens, but it's okay. We'll work with it. You can just kind of stick it into the top like that. And let's add even, let's see, pink. Got this cute little piece of a sucker. And then we can just drop some of these sprinkles right there in the front. Okay, remember how I said I'm gonna do this kind of backwards so you can see me, see what I'm doing, but see how I have just this, all these different colored frostings. I'm just gonna kind of go and like do little curly cues. I'm just picking whatever color I think will work. I'm just kind of doing some fun little back and forth things. Nothing, again, there's like nothing, you can't do this wrong, is what I'm trying to say. Let's see. Could even put like another little Oreo chunk right here, kind of offset the big piece of chocolate, oops, up there at the top. Okay, and then we can add our, kind of add just like one of these cute little pom-poms. Kind of fun, kind of crazy. I'm gonna set it right here. Okay, let's do one of these fun ice cream ones. So just tidying up my workspace for a sec. So I should say, one thing that you can also do with the meltables is kind of like this yummy, make it look like a yummy drip. I don't have the chocolate ones here to make it look like a sundae, but this is still pretty melted. So I'm gonna go ahead, just drip it over the top. All I did was just put a scoop on the top and kind of just, I don't know if you can see it falling. Ah, could you die? How cute. It's so cute. I think it's so cute. It's like this cute little ice cream sundae on top of your cupcake. Okay, do you mind grabbing the fruit that we did, please? And thank you. Let's see. Okay, this cupcake liner has flowers on it. This really cute pattern. So I'm gonna grab, while she's doing getting the fruit, I'm gonna put my little flower off to the side. Maybe it's kind of hard to do it backwards, but. So here's our little cherry. Okay, so now that I see I've got some, here, we'll move this up a little bit before it dries. So now I'm just gonna take my frosting and kind of just do the same thing I did with the other cupcake. I'm gonna add, it's a little gumball. Let's see, and add, I promise you have stuff in your pantry that would be so cute to add to this, even if it's like, you know, like let's say it's like a little piece of cereal or something. I've got this tiny open star tip that I'm putting into a pastry bag, and I'm gonna plop one of these colors into it. Oops. So that I can get, let's see, what color? I'm gonna do some red. So I'm taking this little star tip and I'm just adding, all I'm doing is just squeezing like ever so gently. And I can come back with some more little frosting. I'm gonna fill that in. Just add like some little polka dots. Let's see. Add some purple to kind of tie in that. Now, you know, in life, people say less is more. I believe that. I do, but sometimes when it comes to just being creative and letting your mind free, I don't think that that's necessarily the case, because you can just do so many fun things. Okay, how are we feeling? Yes.
I have a question here. Do you have any tips on how to add sprinkles once it's crusted over, so we don't have to like smush the sprinkles into it?
Yes, totally. So what you can do is, if you just get your finger rather, well, you know what? I'll show you. Okay, so this is the back side. See how it's like totally dried and set up? You can either use some of the meltables. So this is still pretty, like it's still melted, right? You can just take your finger. So I just have like this tiniest, littlest bit. Then you're essentially just gonna kind of like paint over the top of what's already dried. So it's just like this thinnest little layer. And then you can take your sprinkles and they'll stick on. So I hope that helps. That's happened to me so many times. So many times. So, okay. See, this is where I would spend like 5 more minutes just staring at it going, okay, my little friend, what do you need to finish you off? Anyway, so we'll put this little guy right here. And then do you mind grabbing the last of the meltable embellishments, please? How are we on time? Okay, so we're getting there. I'm trying to think. There's always so much that I want to like share with you guys, and then I think, oh, I'll have so much time, and then it gets here and it doesn't always work out that way. I'm going to use some of these fun. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so here. So remember our little friend who we just threw some like popcorn on top of? So see how it's just this, it just literally just like, if you just kind of go like this to the cookie cutter, see how there's a little bit of like stretch to it? It'll just fall right out. Bless you. So there's that. And then these, kind of same thing. So this is like, see how, let's see, camera angle, there we go. See how you can see the, like the outline of the cookie cutter? That's good because that means you press down hard enough to like essentially seal the meltables inside of the cookie cutter. But it's the same principle here. If you, oops, if you just give her a little squeeze, then you have this cute little shape, right? Aren't those fun? I just think they're so fun. And so easy, I promise, so easy. So then you can take some of the meltable, oops, so this is pretty thick, but for time's sake, I'm just gonna show you. And then you just kind of put, you're making like a little glue band kind of. And you just, I like to make sure that I coat and cover the stick. Like I try to get it as covering as much of the whatever shape it is as possible, just so it's like a little bit stronger. And because those were in the fridge, like that's already pretty, it's already pretty set up. We'll just do one more. Let's do the heart. It's so set up, but that's okay. We'll make it work. So I'm just like, hopefully we'll make it work. There we go. Normally I would like, if I had more time, I would put it back in the microwave. I'd let it like get a little bit more runny. And then I would do the same process, but I wouldn't use this that's already kind of set up. But for time's sake, we went with it. Okay, so let's see. Let's do this cute pink one. And I love the open star tip for sprinkles because it kind of, especially since these have been setting up in the fridge, the sprinkles won't really adhere that well to it. So if you have a topping, excuse me, if you use a tip, excuse me, rather, then you can kind of let them fall into the little like rivets of the open star, which is super cute. Okay, now we're gonna take, let's see, what if we take, let's take one of our cake bites. Let's use this one because it's got lots of, just gonna kind of smush it down on top. We can take our little heart topper. Let's see, do we want to and take a gumball. Oops, I just flung stuff all over the table. Let's see. Oh, we could even, so let's say we have like this other little shape that we did. We can adhere it with some other frosting. Let's see. Again, I'm trying to do it backwards, so I'm like, I can't tell if that looks okay from the front or not, but hopefully it will. So cute. Let's take our, oh, see, now I'm gonna do that trick where I'm taking the red out. I'm gonna put the pink in after I cut the tip a little bit more so it's bigger than the opening. I'm gonna get the pink out. Add like a little flower. Add a little starburst. Some of these have, like this sprinkle, the Happy Mix has these cutest little solid colored rainbows. So if you're like a minimalist freaking out right now because you're like, this is too much, I say give it a try because it's actually really, really fun just to kind of let loose and let it go. Okay, so I'll show you this too. So here's a piece of like the meltables. Remember we cut our shapes out of, but like look at that top. Like I think it's so pretty. It's kind of like a little ribbon. So I'm just breaking it, and we could even just stick it kind of off to the side. Look how cute. So fun. Okay, so I kind of think that we've reached the end of our time, and I hope that was fun and helpful and motivational. And I think more so than anything, I feel like, here, I'm just gonna move these to the front of the class. Yeah, I feel like here's my little like tender moment with you. I never felt like I was like creative or artsy at all, right? Like I never ever felt that way about myself. And I think it's because I didn't have like the right tools or the right mediums for me to feel that way. Like there's always those people in your life where you're like, oh my word, not that you're comparing yourself to them, but you're just like, oh wow, if I could paint a face in my 30s that doesn't look worse than my 5-year-old can do it. Like, I wish I could be artistic. But that's how I always felt, just like I didn't have any kind of creativity. And then when I found this, I was like, okay, wait, I can be creative and I can have fun with food. And again, it's not like you're going to make a bunch of cupcakes like this every day and take it to class or to work or whatever. But how fun would this be to get like just one single little cupcake in a cupcake box to take to your best friend or to a neighbor or to your sister or whoever. Like, I just think it would be so meaningful to receive something that you knew someone like put all of their creative heart and energy into. So anyway, so that's my little tender motivational part of why I love baking and decorating, because you can have so much fun and it can be so good for you. And then you have all these wonderful people that can be the beneficiaries of your talent and your gift and your effort. So thank you for being here. I hope by the look of this table that you can tell that it was super fun for me to be here. And yeah, if you guys get to making your own stuff, please like tag us, let us know. We'd love to see your creations, and just keep your eyes peeled on Michael's for upcoming classes. We have a bunch of them coming up this year, so we hope to see you back soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Megan.
Yeah. Bye.